Hello, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all well. I've got Scott here, so good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Dan. Yeah, very well. I'm doing all right. Thank you very much. Are you?
I'm very well. Villa at home, another Sunday 2 o'clock kick-off. Second one out of the three we have. It's not going to get easier from last week to this week because Villa are probably, bar Man City, looked at probably the most informed team in the league at the minute. They are playing some really good football at the minute.
Yeah, it's another tough one, and I think it's been tough the last few weeks. It's kind of we got last season, with the fans and everything, it was all exciting, and that seems to have just dropped off a little bit at the minute. And what we don't want to do is get in a groove of we're losing each week and going back into that negativity and not having the fan base behind. And I think for me at the minute, it's kind of the fans have got such a massive part to play again this season that we've got to get back on it as a fan base. There's been lots of changes, and we can't get complacent as a fan base. The manager won't be and the squad won't be, but I think if anything, the big thing that's missing for Forest at the minute is maybe complacency in the fan base that this season we're going to be all right. We're going to finish mid-table, but it's not. It's going to be hard. So Villa, playing out the skin, and I've been probably for the last year since they got rid of Steven Gerrard. So credit to them. But a big club Sunday. Yeah, it's rubbish Sunday afternoon kickoffs to a degree, but we're just going to have to put it behind us and, get in the pub at 12 and a couple of hours and get ready to start singing at 2 o'clock because that's what we need.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And normally I don't social media quite a lot. I do look at Twitter or X, as you call it now. But this past 3 weeks, I just sort of like stayed off it as much due to this negativity that has been creeping in, and it has probably been for a little bit. But I couldn't agree more that the fan base got to be a lot more behind the team because they all say about it like the second season syndrome and this and that, and
yeah,
it's one of them things. To be fair,
last season, the last 2 seasons, just been huge achievements, and you think, yeah, we're ready to move on, and we've seen the clubs that come up that thinking, yeah, we should be finishing higher than them. So the fact that we've only taken 5 points off those teams and played them at home is, that's made it a little bit more difficult for us. And there's some positives that we, even though we haven't taken points so much away from home against some of the big clubs, we've come away with kind of fairly respectable defeats and something to hold on to. But I think after the international break, it's been a little bit, this is going to be a bit of a struggle. Brennan's goals and assists have come out of the team, and I know he wasn't featuring in the first 11 as we got towards the back end of the season, but I think over the course of the season we're starting to feel that that miss of somebody like Brennan, particularly when Callum Hudson-Odoi injured, and we didn't have a striker to put on the pitch last week. And I think if anything, that goals are always going to be the struggle for us. And obviously with Taiwo being injured, it's just frustrating that we're getting injuries in that top half of the pitch when we haven't got the depth of the squad. Where I think if we'd had a few injuries at centre half, we've got we've got a number of options to kind of come in and competition midfield. So it is frustrating that I think scoring goals was going to be the problem this year, and we've got some fringe players out that we're down to the bare bones.
And that's been, and it's frustrating that we haven't got the people at the top end to deliver. And obviously, you said Brennan's gone, and his contribution to the team were gone. But I was just thinking then, like, it'd probably be a good thing for someone for the striker to step up and be like, yeah, I don't start scoring 3 goals and start seeing the goals around the field, pitch, which could be I don't jinx it, touch wood, but I think it could be a very positive in another way to say, yeah, I mean, all we might pop up and suddenly ban a couple in.
Yeah, I think that's the thing at the minute, and I think particularly in midfield that I don't think Morgan scored yet this season. I don't know if that's right or not, but I don't think he has. Dominguez looks like if he gets a chance, we might have a go at Elanga as I don't know. He had a chance at Liverpool last week, and it was a good. I know he was offside, but he kind of dragged it wide. And I think we just need a little bit more conviction of players that look like they believe that they want to score goals. And I think with Forest, because we're not overly reliant on set pieces and things like that. That if we're going to go toe to toe with teams and try to kind of play them on merit and score a goal from passages of play, it's that's just looking quite difficult. At the moment to score that way. So, yeah, at the minute, I'm not sure where that next goal is coming from unless Taiwo's, on the pitch. And that's the worry for me at the minute that, in the Premier League that I think you can frustrate teams for a certain amount of time. But in the Premier League, it just takes one moment of quality. And, if we haven't got the players on the pitch to do that, then the opposition will have. And I thought Liverpool, for the first 25 minutes, I thought we defended quite well, and it was really frustrating that we just gave that goal away. With Murillo kind of dribbling. But I think that kind of summed up to me the problem that we've got is that we've got a centre half who's looking to create something for the team because nobody else is doing it, and whether that was foolish of him for not. Murillo, against Crystal Palace, he creates some chances by himself out of thin air, and you can tell he wants to get on the ball and create stuff, and perhaps he shouldn't be doing that. But at the minute, who else is offering that kind of flair on the ball? And I think that shows where we're at the minute. We're perhaps relying on a centre half to show a bit of magic and do something.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I couldn't agree more, and it was that probably the frustrating side of things. And obviously with Chris Wood getting injured, probably didn't know our plan for last Sunday because obviously even people said before the game that, well, I think it was before after the game that Chris Wood got injured, and we have to change our approach to the game because obviously Tower's not fully fit to play,
Yeah.
and that so we had to change our game plan, which probably didn't help. But yeah, I couldn't agree more that we're having to rely on a 21-year-old who played 3 games for us to create something. I mean, the one player that I felt a bit sorry for not playing last week is Toffolo in a good way because I felt like the games he has featured, he seems to have that something about him where we've probably not seen him play like that, if that makes sense. Because he got that assist against Brentford, then even the last two games, he looked like he got that bite about him.
Yeah, and a mate texted me the team news, and he said, "Well, Chris Wood's not playing out injured, and Toffolo's not playing." And I thought, well, when I come back to that, if we're going to score off a set piece or a ball in the box, there's nobody better than getting a ball in the box than Harry Toffolo for me. Yeah. At the minute, Aurier can do it on the right hand side, but if you think you're playing wing backs, then we need somebody who can cross the ball, and Harry can do that. And yeah, that was. I just thought. I will play with Toffolo at the minute because he can give us something. And his performance has been better. He's growing into the Premier League, and I don't think he's put too much wrong, to be honest. So, yeah, I would like to see Harry in the team at the minute because we need an attacking dimension that if we haven't got strikers or creative midfielders, then, we need somebody from wide positions that can get a ball into the box and cause some danger. So, yeah, I agree with you, Dan, there that I would like to see Toffolo, at wing back or at least at full back.
I mean, how would he set up against Villa on Sunday? I know, because obviously with the issue with Tower, is he not fit to start? With Chris Wood being out, I know we played Gibbs White and Lander up top. How would you go against Villa on Sunday?
Well, if Tyler's not playing, then we're gonna have a big problem because there's no other striker to play. So it will have to be Elanga up front, and I definitely play Morgan in behind him as almost as a. I think you'd have to do 4-5-1. I think with a three almost behind it, protected in midfield, but.
Mm-hmm.
At centre half, I think Murillo, we're not dropping him. He's playing well. Bolly, I wouldn't drop. I think we have to play 4 at the back at home. Anya, yeah, I keep with him, but Aurier's not been great. I don't think last few weeks, and Anya's played well for us. And I think, well, actually, if Aurier's not doing it, then we'll put Anya right hand side, and we'll go Toffolo left. And then maybe play 4 and play 5 across the midfield, and see what we can do. But Sangari he's been a bit disappointing for me, if I'm honest, so far. I think for the money that we've paid for him, I'm sure he will come good in time, but we need him to start coming good sooner rather than later, or he needs some time out, and he needs to kind of understand a bit more about the demands of the Premier League. Very much, it frustrated me last week, the second goal, having lost that first goal, it was a bad goal, and the second goal just through people not tracking. That's, for me, that's unforgivable in the Premier League, and unforgivable for midfield players, full stop, that you've got to be on the ball, and Yates is going to be chomping at the bit, and at the minute, from I'm not seeing too much more that Sangari offers than Ryan Yates, if I'm honest.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I said it when he started against Burnley. Actually, I said I weren't saying that I wouldn't play him because I think we paid a lot of money for him. And
of course, we've got to get him in that team. Somebody of that pedigree, of course we have. But
and I said, remote, but I said straight away that I wouldn't have thrown him in. I would have built him in slowly into the team and let him get not up to speed with Premier League, because I think playing is better than drips and jabs. But I think letting him build into that sort of team effort that we have got in there, especially with Yates and Mangala, and I mean Dominguez have been slotted in really.
And I think I think one of the things that we're struggling with at the minute is a bit of identity. That, I mean, I know that Joe Worrall and Ryan Yates aren't everybody's cup of tea, but they are Nottingham Forest lads through and through, and they know what's expected when you're playing for Forest. And we've got lots of new faces that's not quite there yet. With the likes of Sangari and one or two others, that when you're playing for Forest, this is what's expected. And if that takes a Ryan Yates or Joe Worrall starting, which they started the season very old, the pair of them did, and they've both been lucky to lose the places. Is it a coincidence that we've not picked up points since them two have come out of the team? I don't know. People would argue they're not good enough, they're not technically, but you look at the results and you look at the performances, that Forest have been poorer without those two in the team, I would say.
I think they've proven that last season with Yates there. When he got back from injury and that he started to show we did better with Yates in there. Yeah, fair enough, you're not technically like Mandala or that, but what he does offer in there, even against Sheffield United when he brought him on. I know Sheffield United and they came up on this and that, but what Yates did, he proves that what we do need in there at the minute, not we paid 31 million from Sandro, if that makes sense.
I think we're just a bit predictable, I was talking to somebody last night, and we're just saying about the Premier League is so well coached now that it's almost a bit predictable that, everybody has these passages of play, but I think we need a bit of unpredictability in there at the minute, and somebody that's going to rough it up and, win a tackle and, win a scruffy header. And I think that's what we're missing a little bit. And to be honest, I think that's what the City ground is missing at the minute. It's just a bit predictable that, we're playing left to right and these types of things. But, last season, when we need to make it a scrap, we did. And we're at that point again where really, I think if we're not going to turn it into a scrap, then I think for a supporter, you're just kind of going through the motions watching. And I think Forest fans like a bit of scrap, and Nottingham folk, we like a little bit of a battle, and let's rough it up a little bit, and we can't get complacent. And we've got Aston Villa, playing really, really well. That if we're just going to, be a little bit complacent in the way we want to play and not really put any pressure on, then we're going to get beat. Let's face it. So let's rough it up and let's get a bit of cup tie atmosphere going at Forest, because we know what it's like when we get the crowd up. It's brilliant, and we haven't seen that. We haven't seen it at all at Forest this season. I think I'm right in saying that. I can't think of a game where it's been at anywhere near a level of what it was last season.
I couldn't agree more with that, and I've been saying it all season, to be fair. And people looked at me going, and I said it's not been up there. And I think last couple of games, even like my mum and my stepdad and all that, been saying the same thing, that the atmosphere is not up to the standard of last season, and we can't really pinpoint it to where it is. But I think it is like the complacency that is creeping in from. We should be doing better. Which I get, but there's that complacency, whereas we got to fight for it and fight for the points, because we're not going to get given them on the plate. And even that, someone at work said to me, he watched highlights from the Luton game, and he even said that atmosphere didn't seem right for you guys.
No, I mean, I don't think it will against, the Sheffield Uniteds, the Burnleys and the Lutons, because there are games that, you expect to win. And maybe the complacency's crept in because, we've had, the so-called Big Five to Big Four or whatever to play opening few games, and we've done all right against them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, right, besides the new players, it's all looking a lot positive. But I think it just goes to show a few injuries, and we're back in trouble again. And without Taiwo, we're struggling to score goals. So I think it's trying to go back to that little bit of siege mentality. And if it means the fans giving their manager, a load of grief for his footwear or whatever, Matty Cash might have to get it on Saturday, on Sunday, sorry, just to try and get something going in the, in the crowd.
Yeah, might have to win Palmont to try and get Gary Warwick down.
Yeah, well, this is it. Unai Emery, I don't know what his footwear is like, to be honest, but fingers crossed they'll have the usual standard pair of poor trainers on for a manager in the Premier League, and he'll get some grief for it.
Yeah. Have you got a score prediction for Sunday?
I'll take a point. A win would be lovely, but I think at the minute, a point at home to Villa will be a good point, and I think that's something that we need to kind of start focus on. That any point in the Premier League is a good point, and I think we're playing something like Aston Villa. Then so long as we don't lose, then for me that'll be a good starting point. I think we've just got to start building the foundations again. If that's a point at home, so I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw.
Oh, yeah, I do love that. I love the positivity as well.
Well, it's too much moaning and going on, isn't there? And it's kind of like, let's get excited for a game and let's get behind them, and let's not expect too much. Let's just get behind the team and see if we can help and come away with a positive result.
Yeah, definitely. They would say about you social on X.
Yeah, you can follow me on Munich and Madrid. Give me a shout on there if you want to hear some nonsense from a Forest fan.
So yeah, I think I'm not that all the time anyway. Thank you for coming on, as per usual.
No worries, Dan. Anytime, my friend.
Right. So thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye.